This is how to work offices that have been pended to Healthplan in advance. You're going to hover over retrospective and select office issue log. Depending on your user permissions, you're going to have more or less options under retrospective, but you will certainly have office issue log. Your default view is going to go to the pending feedback bucket. These are the offices that need to be worked by the health plan. Every office is on a row. In order to expand the information, you can click anywhere on the row, and it will display at the top the reason why this was put into the office issue log. It will show you to the left what radio button was selected by the scheduler, and it may have been put into issue multiple times for multiple reasons. To the right of the colon, it's going to show you what the scheduler wrote explaining why this office was put into issue. Now, if you want to remove this office from the pending feedback bucket directly, you have two options. You can either schedule the office for retrieval, or you can mark all the remaining chases as closed because you have determined that these chases are unavailable and cannot be retrieved from the office. So we're going to start with how to schedule the office. You're going to click on Schedule Office. That's going to give you this pop-up window for you to select the mechanism by which you're going to schedule retrieval for the charts. You can either retrieve them through an on-site visit, through EMR or remote access, through fax, email, or FTP site, post, or invoice the office because they want to charge for the extraction of these charts. So let's say I'm going to fax them in and I want a scheduler to follow up with this office in 7 days to make sure that these has been faxed in. Now you'll notice that there were 8 offices in the pending feedback bucket, and this one is for 8755 Transit Road. As soon as I hit proceed, this office is going to be removed from my pending feedback bucket because there is no longer an issue with this office. So we went from 8 to 7 offices. The other way for you to remove an office from the office issue log is to mark the remaining chases as closed because they are not available for retrieval. So under response, you're going to click on the down arrow. You're going to select close. Then you're going to have several options for why these charts are unavailable. Either because all attempts have been exhausted to retrieve these charts, you recognize that this is a duplicate request and these charts have already been retrieved. They've been marked closed by the health plan. It has been determined the patient was not seen during the dates of service that are being requested. The patient was not seen in this office. The provider cannot be found, or their office has been closed, or this has been marked as closed by the vendor. So let's say we're going to say that all attempts have been exhausted. Now you'll notice there were 7 offices that are in the pending feedback bucket. As soon as I change these to closed, they will go from 7 to 6 offices in my pending feedback bucket. So those are the 2 ways that you can directly remove chases from the office issue log, either by scheduling them or marking the remaining chases as closed. You can also take several other actions to update information. If, for example, the reason why the office was put into the office issue log is because the information was inaccurate. You can edit the office demographic information by clicking on Edit Office Demographics. When you do so, you're going to see these text boxes that allow you to update their address, city, state, and zip, contact person, contact number, or fax number. So let's say it's 100 College Boulevard, and it's actually not in Buffalo, but it's in 14222 Buffalo. Let's see if we can make it a different. It's all Buffalo. So you can update that. And you'll notice as soon as you update the zip code, it will update the city, county, and state. You can add a contact person. Add contact person. And you're going to see as soon as I make these changes, it's going to populate up here and update it in our database. You can also change the contact number or fax number. Alternatively, if it's the office demographic information is not inaccurate, but the provider information needs to be updated, you can click on the provider. That's going to show you text boxes that allow you to edit the provider last or first name, NPI, plan provider ID, or provider medical group. So let's say their last name is actually Smith. Again, as soon as you update this information, it will populate and save it in our database. To exit these text boxes in the provider field, you're just going to click on the provider name again, and that's going to remove those text boxes. And for the office demographics, you just click on the office row and that will close those text boxes. In addition to updating the office information by edit office demographics or provider information by clicking on the provider, you can also request that our schedulers recontact the office. So in the response, under response, you're going to click on the down arrow. You're going to select recontact office and you can add a note for the scheduler. Note for scheduler to recontact office. Now this is going to move this office from the pending feedback bucket into awaiting scheduler. So you notice that there are 6 offices in pending feedback, 3 awaiting scheduler. As soon as I save this, this is going to move from pending feedback to awaiting scheduler. So this was, I forgot the address. What address was it that I wrote? It was this one. So you'll notice that at the top of the contact log, the note that you just wrote will populate here. It will say who wrote it in the office issue log to recontact the office, and it'll be the note for scheduler. The other way to remove an office from pending feedback, if you don't necessarily want them to recontact the office, but you want them to take another action, you can select Note from Scheduler from your response drop-down menu, and you can say, please take the following action for this office. And now this is going to move it from pending feedback to awaiting scheduler. So this is 12364 Main Street. So now if we go to awaiting scheduler and look at 12364 Main Road, we're going to see the note, please take the following action for this office, for the scheduler to take action. In addition, if you want to write a priority contact note for the scheduler, you can click on Add Contact Note here. That will then bring up this screen, and under Internal Contact Note, you're going to select Update Only. You're going to select Mark as Priority Note 2, and then from the drop-down menu, you're going to select the scheduler whose priority note you want this to be attended to. You're going to add a priority note here. I'm going to click Add Contact Note. Now this is going to keep one test avenue in your pending feedback bucket, but I want to show you how it will populate for the scheduler. So when the scheduler goes into the scheduler module, they're going to see that a new office is populated as a priority note office. They're going to click on that, they're going to see one test avenue, and they're going to see the note that you wrote at the top for their priority note to take specific action here. However, in order for you to remove this from the pending feedback into awaiting scheduler, you're going to need to select from your response drop-down menu, Note for Scheduler, and note priority note for Julie Goldberg was added to contact log. And now this is going to remove one test avenue from my pending feedback bucket into my awaiting scheduler bucket. So those are the ways that you can manage the offices that are in pending feedback. You can either schedule them, you can mark all the remaining offices as closed, you can write a note for scheduler, or you can ask schedulers to recontact the office. You can update office demographic information by clicking on Office Demographics. You can update provider information by clicking on the provider. Finally, if the office requests that you send them the chase list again, you have 2 options for providing them with a chase list. You can either click on Export Remaining List of Chases to PDF with cover letter and select Print to PDF, and this will allow you to download the exact cover letter that was sent to them. So the first 2 pages are going to be your cover letter, and then the remaining pages will list the remaining chases to be extracted, and then you could download this to your desktop and send it to the provider. Or if you don't want to send them a PDF letter, if you want to send them the remaining charts as an Excel file, you can click on Charts Remaining, and then from this pop-up window, you click on the Export to Excel button, and that will allow you to send the provider an Excel spreadsheet with the chase level detail of the chases remaining to be extracted. and then you close this pop-up window by clicking on the blue X. So these are the actions you can take. Now, if you export the remaining chase list or export the remaining chart as an Excel file, if you edit office demographic information, add a contact note, or edit provider information, those will keep the office in the pending feedback bucket. The only way to move the office from pending feedback into out of the office issue log is to schedule the office, to remark the remaining chases as closed, or to move the office from pending feedback into a waiting scheduler by selecting Recontact Office or Note for Scheduler. This is how to work the offices in the pending feedback bucket in Office Issue Log.